So today I'll be showing you how to control severe bleeding. This is my victim. Let's pretend that he has severe bleeding on his arm. So the first thing you want to do is put on gloves because you do not want to get any bloodborne pathogens. And then after that, you want to take some gauze and apply direct pressure to the wound for 5 minutes. If it gets too saturated, you can add more, but you never want to take off the first layer that you put on. Then if it gets too bulky, you can take off pieces, but again, you want to leave on the first layer that you put on there. And then you want to wrap it with a bandage. Let's pretend like this is a proper bandage. But you don't want to wrap it too tight to the point where circulation is cut off. You just want to wrap it tight enough to help stop the bleeding. Then with the ends, you can tuck it in at the bottom like that, or you can tie off the top like a shoelace kind of, but I can't show you with this because it's not long enough to do that with, or the proper thing. Then you want to check their hands and recheck for circulation. Make sure that everything is circulated. You do not want the blood or the circulation to get cut off completely. And then after that, you want to seek medical care. So let's say you can't stop the bleeding. You did everything that you could and it's still going. You want to take a tourniquet, and you can make one if you don't have one with a shoelace or a belt, depending on how big the wound is. I chose a belt because if you choose a small one, you can cut into the skin and damage the blood vessels. So what you want to do is take it, put it 2 or 3 inches above the wound. Then you want to tie it off. I'm going to attempt to tie this off as well as I can. This arm is so skinny, but you want to just tie it off. And then after that, you want to twist it so it can tighten and help stop the bleeding. And you only want to do this as a last resort. If everything else that you tried did not work, you only use this as a last resort. And remember, 1 quart of blood loss for an adult can put them into shock and they can die, and 1 pint for a child. So if you think about how big a quart is, or a pint for a child, that's not a lot, and that means you're kind of compromised for time, so you have to act quickly when you're trying to control severe bleeding.